My name is Aggeliki Pappa. I'm the founder and CEO of I Love Dyslexia, EFL School, first globally school in the world for teaching English as a foreign and second language to students with dyslexia, and president of Dyslexia Cosmos, non-for-profit organization fighting for inclusion and innovation in global pedagogy. I Love Dyslexia is the first school globally for teaching English as a foreign language to students with dyslexia. It's a beautiful space, as you can see. It has been built through brain-targeted teaching by Marielle Hardiman. We have used the research, the brain research of Marielle Hardiman to create a beautiful space. And we have created architecture as a tool for our pedagogy, as a tool for creativity, for motivation, for inspiration, for flow energy. The energy can flow in I Love Dyslexia so as our students can be more creative, can be happier, joyful, and relaxed, and in a meditative state, so they can really open up their brain and their heart to receive the unique kind of knowledge that we have there to give them. I Love Dyslexia is in the top 10 schools in the whole world for innovation by the World 10 Top Schools Prizes. So we are very humbled to share this beautiful story because we're only a small school with 100 students and 10 teachers. So imagine if a small school but beautiful school and highly specialized for teaching English as a foreign language to students with dyslexia managed to get into the top in the world schools. Something really magic is happening there. And the magic is happening because of the power of our heart and the power of the magical brain of dyslexia that actually led us to a wonderful journey. I gave 8 years of my life to create this first method, comprehensive program, 3Dyslexia program for teaching English as a foreign language to students with dyslexia. It is not a coincidence that I dedicated my whole life. I am dyslexic myself, and it was very difficult for me to find myself in the Greek schools. I was actually having hard time to communicate my work and my pedagogy, my innovation in the Greek environment because it was a little bit different. It was changing the system. And also, unfortunately, I had two students, Sterios and Nicholas, that they gave me very hard lessons in this lifetime. I will share their stories with them later on. And they actually made me dedicate my life in order to be able to get out of marginalization millions of charismatic students with dyslexia who unfortunately, even in 2024, are marginalized in the global educational systems. This wonderful journey and the results of 15 years old results of our school has led us to find myself 2 times in the 50 top educators in the world for the $1 million Global Teacher Prize, the Nobel Prize for Teachers, with the flag of Greece. And in 2018, I was very humbled to receive the trust of His Royal Highness King Charles in Stavrouniarchos Foundation in Athens, Greece, because I was announced winner of Europe by the British Council UK for the UK Alumni Awards for my innovations in I Love Dyslexia School and Dyslexia Cosmos non-for-profit organization. And I was officially recognized by the British Council as the first program and the first school in the world for teaching English as a foreign language and second language to children with dyslexia. And in 2018 also, our program was featured in the OECD report, the official OECD report. This is the only comprehensive program in the history of pedagogy in the OECD reports that is promoted and presented. We recently actually presented this huge recognition from the OECD in the European Dyslexia Association conference through our poster. But you can find everything if you click in the Google search, Teaching for the Future 2018 OECD report. You will be able to find all of our work and program in chapter 1, pages 20 to 21. So this is a few of our achievements, but these achievements have actually started because we really wanted to find out what is dyslexia even in 2009, when we established the school, and we were against, even from 2009, against the wrong definition of dyslexia, which sometimes is still used, that it is a developmental and learning disorder or disability. So unfortunately, due to lack of scientific support, a lot of researchers, even nowadays, give this wrong definition about dyslexia. And because 1 to 5 children has dyslexia, so we're talking about millions of children and students and people, more than 700 million people globally have dyslexia. It is a huge misconception to even nowadays carry out the false misconception of the past that dyslexia is a disorder. Dyslexia is not a disorder. The correct new definition of dyslexia are found in the latest research by Dr. Marianne Wolf, who is actually my greatest mentor, an incredible cognitive neuropsychologist, neuroscientist in Tufts and UCLA. You can also check in Cambridge University, the latest research by Taylor, and Dr. Protopopoulos, a Greek university professor. He's now in Norway, Oslo University, that they say that dyslexia is not a disorder. It's a differently organized brain that happens to be strong in global big picture thinking, leading to certain impressive thinking advantages over typical brains, while facing challenging in reading and writing, ending up to poor school performance that often leads to secondary mental and social emotional problems. And this is why we're here. We're going to talk about the mental problems that dyslexia brings to the students in schools, because they are marginalized and they face social and academic exclusion all of their life, although they're brilliant or although they're smart. And also we're here to connect dyslexia with migration. Why? Because a lot of students, unfortunately, let's continue, a lot of students need to actually change schools and change countries to find themselves in the correct context in order to be able to thrive academically and holistically as personalities. But let's first check some important statistics about dyslexia. So about 780 million people with dyslexia globally right now face exclusion in mainstream English as a foreign language contexts. That means that we waste important human capital, students and children and human beings, that they cannot speak the global language, so they cannot contribute on a global level. And this is a huge problem that we need to collaborate with governments, OECD, British Dyslexia Association, European Dyslexia Association, universities, everyone to solve, because we need to get out of marginalization brilliant minds that we have proved in I Love Dyslexia that they can learn if we change the way we teach in the classrooms. About 35% of them drop out of schools. Almost 60% of dyslexic children meet the criteria for at least one mental disorder and are 40% more prone to depression than typical readers. 14 to 19% of the students who are poor readers have also a history of either suicidal thoughts or attempts of suicide, compared to 5% of students who are and were typical readers. So these are very important statistics that make us understand that dyslexia is not only a reading difference, but it can lead to mental disorders that can even lead to suicide. Students with learning differences, with these learning differences. Now, some more dyslexia statistics, from school dropout and mental illness to delinquency and arrest and incarceration. About 48% of people in prisons are dyslexic, and they cost $500 billion per year in the United States government, only in the US. So you understand that instead of putting and investing more money in for inclusive pedagogy in schools, we give the money in prisons to feed 48% of people with dyslexia that it's the percentage of people with dyslexia in prisons, and this is an absolute tragedy. An absolute tragedy not only for their lives, but the whole society. And this is a very important issue, and that's why we address and we became advocates of dyslexia as much as possible, because we need global collaboration from governments, as I mentioned before, from universities and all organizations and experts globally to be able to move ahead in this huge challenge for these millions of charismatic people. So we're talking about the dyslexia odyssey, a long way from home, the stories of Nicholas and Sterios that I'm going to share with you. Two stories of my students with dyslexia. Nicholas was the first student with dyslexia who changed my life, because unfortunately he committed a suicide. He left our life when he was 24 years old. And for me, it was a turning point in my life. I realized that this is not just a problem for reading and writing. It's a problem that actually gets into the core of the mental health and the well-being of these students and these kids. And we, as educators in the school system, we need to address holistically the challenge of dyslexia and find ways to empower these kids, not only for reading and writing and the skills that they need to academically thrive, but also their mental health, their emotional well-being, their heart-mind coherence, in order to be able to thrive holistically as human beings. So millions of children with dyslexia, like modern Ulises, are forced to live life as migrants, moving from school to school and from country to country. My second student with dyslexia that came to my life 30 years ago, because I have been teaching for 30 years, Sterios, he actually dropped school after he was expelled from 10 schools in Athens, Greece. He moved to United States of America to be able to find another school with his family, to finish high school, because he couldn't graduate from the Greek schools. And now he lives in Mexico City after so many years. But before he moved to Mexico City, he's actually watching right now, and later on he will be able to join you in UNAV Universidad. It's incredible to know that we have been connected for more than 20 years with Sterios, and he's still in my life, fighting together for inclusion and the human rights for millions of charismatic students with dyslexia. He's there now, but before he moved to, actually, while he was there in Mexico, he came with me in Argentina, in Tucumán, to share our story on stage, because a wonderful Minister of Education, who was actually Minister of Education of Tucumán, Argentina, Dr. Juan Pablo Lichmacher, an incredible human being who is actually working towards towards inclusion, towards sustainability, and to actually empower not only students with dyslexia, but every child on earth, internationally and in Latin America. He invited us in the Congress that he organized, in the International Congress that he organized in Argentina. So me and Sterios, we found ourselves in Argentina in front of 50,000 teachers who participated in Tucumán, Argentina Congress. And I would like to share with you a short video. It's actually like a short documentary of what it really means to be dyslexia, to be a dyslexic, student, what it means to become a migrant, to have to change country in order to be able to find a school to address you, and what it means to carry the emotional challenge of being dyslexic all of your life. So let's all watch together the video of Sterios in Argentina. Here it's me and Dr. Juan Pablo Lichmacher in Argentina, in Tucumán, sharing my method, 3D Dyslexia method, with thousands of students there, and thousands of teachers, and we are empowering more than 500,000 students in Argentina, in Tucumán, hopefully soon in the whole Argentina.
Hi everyone, this is Sterios. For those who do not know me, I was one of the speakers at the Third Congress of Education. It's been about 6 months since I was with you in Argentina and wanted to make a quick video to thank you for being there and for all the sweet messages you sent me and comments you left me. It was a great experience for me that I will always carry with me. For those who couldn't make it, here are a few things about me and a few key points from my talk. I was born in Athens, Greece, and changed more than 10 schools and eventually gave up school at the age of 17 without graduating. I had dyslexia and ADHD, but no one knew at the moment. So everyone was frustrated. My teachers thought I did not care, and my parents that I was lazy. And I couldn't understand why everything had to be so hard. Staying focused was difficult. Being on time was difficult. Reading and learning in class was equally difficult. And making friends was difficult too. After leaving school, I found ways that suit my learning style better, and I taught myself a number of things, including English. Since it was difficult to find a job without a degree or school diploma, I started a number of businesses throughout the years. And although I failed in most of them, I learned a number of skills. And now I work as a business consultant, helping companies create strategic partnerships and build new products. Sometimes people are impressed that back in 2017, I got a 1-year contract to work at Google and for keeping them as a client. But to tell you the truth, it was just luck. Luck in the sense of preparation meets opportunity. I was in the right place, the right moment, and had all the experience needed. This short assignment gave me credibility and validated my experience. But it shouldn't be like that, because what if I wasn't that lucky to get this opportunity? Would I deserve less? No, absolutely not. I would have been exactly the same person. But what can we do about it? What I will usually encourage teachers and professionals to do is to not assess people purely based on their formal qualifications. I know it's the easy thing to do and qualifications do matter, but what about the ones who do not fit the mold and are out of the norm? It's not always their choice to be the outsiders, and they are the ones who need our attention the most. So next time you have a troublemaker in class, think twice before you expel them. You might be contributing to their problems rather than helping them integrate with their class. And when you retire, you may be more proud for the ones who helped to overcome their challenges and become great members of our society. And who knows, maybe one day you get to see them on stage, like my teacher, Aggeliki Pappa, who was one of the teachers who made it her goal to not only be a good teacher, but also see her students succeed. Not only the ones who are easy to be taught, but all of her students, despite their strengths and abilities. I hope you enjoyed this brief message, and once again, thank you for attending my talk. Thank the organizers for putting together such a nice event, and Gonzalo Diaz who invited me to record this message. I will link his page on the description below. If you're not following me on social media and watching this video on WhatsApp or another platform, I'm currently in Mexico City. I'm planning to stay here for a few months, so we're not that far away, and I would really love to come back to Argentina and give more talks, but also work with teachers and students through workshops. Maybe together we can create some learning experiences that can help you and your class be the best possible. So if there are any conferences in Argentina or Latin America that I should know about, let me know or share my details with the organizers. And if you're visiting Mexico City, send me a message. I'll see you later. Hasta luego. This is amazing. I'm in Argentina. Okay, let's get ready.
So that was Sterios. It's so emotional to watch this video because it's the story of our heart, is our truth, is a 30-year-old journey empowering, first of all, our souls, and secondly, as many students and teachers and parents and colleagues globally to collaborate and together empower as many beautiful souls with this brilliant mind of dyslexia together. And how do we do this in I Love Dyslexia School? How do we manage to actually teach with excellence? For 15 years, all of our students although they come to our school without even knowing the English alphabet, after a few months and a few years, they receive their official certification on proficiency level with excellence. We managed to do this, first of all, by teaching them about the brain. We help them understand how differently the different brain of dyslexia works, and how typical brain works, and how they can actually enhance the learning by stimulating the whole brain, right and left hemisphere, through different learning styles and different learning techniques. So they become little scientists, and they become the teachers of themselves. So we teach them about their brain, and we teach them how to learn. And here you can see our students with their heart and the brains, and we teach them how to create heart-mind coherence through meditation, through controlled breathing, and of course by understanding how to use different learning multisensory techniques in order to be able to retain information about anything they want to learn and thrive academically. The second step is to empower them emotionally. So here you see a project of ours, What If Dyslexia Ruled the World? And you can see what if women rule the world behind, because we connected this project with EMST, Modern Museum of Art in Athens, Greece, that now celebrates women the last few months. So we have important personalities, women personalities, that they have dyslexia, like Erna Solberg, the former Prime Minister of Norway, who is actually dyslexic, and she was fighting for sustainability and empowering women throughout the years of her presidency. And Princess Beatrice, who gives us her quote, "For me, school was a nightmare." Marilyn Monroe, Salma Hayek, Keira Knightley, a Nobel grader, Dr. Grader, she won a Nobel Prize recently in chemistry. So you see that Oprah Winfrey, Cher, amazing artists, amazing presidents, amazing women from different contexts. They have dyslexia, and of course, so many men: Pablo Picasso, Dali, Richard Branson, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Tom Ford. They all have dyslexia, even Kennedy, the President Kennedy. So they had dyslexia. So brilliant mind, Leonardo da Vinci, we are convinced that he was dyslexic. Brilliant mind, Beethoven, Mozart, Disney, Agatha Christie, all these important personalities were and are dyslexic. So dyslexia is not only is not a problem, it's a solution for humanity. We need to follow these brains, and we need to upgrade our pedagogy into inclusive systems that not only support students with dyslexia, but empower every student in the classrooms. And now we have also created cognitive neurotechnology. We use AI and cognitive neurotechnology, science, to be able to collaborate with Harvard University and Microsoft Education USA in order to be able to digitalize my method, scale it up, and spread it globally to make sure that every child will thrive in English, and not only in English language, but in every lesson in school. And thank God, this method is not only for students with dyslexia and special needs, it's an inclusive method that can empower typical learners too. And also not only about English, but the whole brain. Students become more creative, more imaginative. They develop analytical and critical thinking, synthetic thinking, different styles of learning. So in other words, we boost their brain while we're teaching them English, and we boost their creativity and imagination, which are key aspects for the 21st century. We also use art, and we have created our own plays, drama plays, under the auspices of UNESCO, under the auspices of the Greek Ministry of Education and Culture and Civilization. And now, before I leave you, so we use technology, science, and art through our method, our 3D Lexia method, which is actually a Pythagorean algorithm. Pythagoras said everything starts with number 3. So we use science, technology, and art. We use heart-mind coherence, cosmic and the consciousness of the mind connected with the cosmic energy. So we teach the students that not only we are human beings, but we are energy. We understand our nature on a quantum level. We understand human mind. We understand consciousness. We expand all this knowledge and deep learning and wisdom through science, technology, and art projects. And I would like, before I leave, to share with you a short 2 minutes video, which is called Ulysses' Journey from Dyslexia to Ítaca. It's about Odysseus, the Homer hero, who had to actually move an incredible journey to move through the Greek islands, different islands, the mythological islands, in order to reach Ithaca. And in our play, our Homer, our Ulysses, he also had to visit the island of Dyslexia. And with his smart and genius mind, he had to solve the challenges of dyslexia in order to be able to reach his Ithaca, his dream, his eudaimonia, to reach eudaimonia, the Aristotelian eudaimonia. So let's all watch the video of Ulysses' journey. And actually, it's a video that we also shared in a beautiful project under the auspices of UNESCO in Athens, Greece, with my students, where we empowered migrants and refugees who came from Syria to Athens, Greece. And we actually empowered them by teaching them some English to be able to communicate their needs in our country, Greece, and also to communicate the situation that they lived and the mental issues, of course, they had to release through by being able to communicate through a global language, English global language. So we empowered English global language to refugees in Athens, Greece, together with my students by visiting refugee camps. And it was an incredible opportunity for us to understand that English is not just a language, it's a tool for global collaboration, even for mental release, because you can communicate your emotional needs everywhere you go. And this is important because, as Aristotle said, educating the mind without educating the heart and without relief of the trauma of the heart and mind, we cannot talk about education. So let's enjoy the Ulysses journey from dyslexia to Ithaca.
Aggeliki, we can hear you.
Everything that we are waiting for is inside of us. Gracias desde el fondo de mi corazón. Thank you very much for your attention, your kind attention. I wish you all the very best in your journey to find mental health for our soul, for our children, and for humanity. Thank you.
As teachers, I am glad I didn't spend time introducing you. Your work speaks by itself. You put your heart in what you do. It's amazing.
Thank you so very much.
Very
I'm very humbled for your words. I really appreciate. I'm trying to stop sharing. Okay, here you go. Thank you so very much for your kind words. I really appreciate the opportunity to share my journey with you and with all the colleagues globally. And now we're together, juntos. We can empower mental health, we can empower our children, and we can heal humanity through pedagogy for love, for higher love. And here from Athens, Greece, I am deeply humbled and honored for giving me the opportunity.